Hello everybody, it's Jay Roby. Today we're going to be looking at the Benoni Defense in this video. The Benoni Defense is a black opening strategy that is in response to queen-pawn openings played by white. And it's been used by top level grandmasters over the years. It was used quite extensively by Kasparov, and Bobby Fischer won a match against Spassky in the World Championships employing the Benoni defense. So we're going to take a look here at the main lines and then what kind of variations exist. So the Benoni starts out as follows. White opens with the queen pawn, and black now plays knight to f6. White plays pawn to c4, and black plays pawn to c5. This is the mainline Benoni. And on a side note, after white develops to d5, black can also play pawn now to b5, which is called the Benko Gambit, and it's kind of an opening all by itself, so we're not going to get into the Benko Gambit too much in this video. We'll have to do that another time. But from the mainline Benoni now, what can often happen is black can go into what's called modern Benoni, and that's by playing e6 with the pawn. White plays knight to c3, black plays pawn to d6, white plays pawn to e4, black now takes and white recaptures, and then black gets ready to fianchetto the bishop. So this is called the modern Benoni. Now the modern Benoni is definitely one way that a match can go, but white players can sometimes avoid the Benoni defense from black altogether. And how this is done is basically from the opening of the game, white plays pawn to d4, black is going for the Benoni defense and plays his pawn to c5, but at this juncture, instead of playing the standard move of pawn to d5, white can just simply play knight to f3. And what this does is it changes white's strategy into basically an English opening. So the Benoni defense can be avoided altogether by white players who don't want to get into it. And there's a few reasons why white players might not want to play the Benoni defense. Generally, the Benoni defense, the primary goals is to control and utilize the e5 square quite a bit, as well as have sharp attacks down partially exposed e file. So it's along with the d6 square here too. So sometimes white players don't want to get into that, and they will try to get out of it as quickly as possible. And this is one way they can do that, by transposing their game into an English. Now, white also has another powerful option at its disposal when it's playing the Benoni defense, and it's basically called the Taimanov variation. And what it is it's a very sharp play by white that can expose a weakness when someone goes into the modern Benoni defense. And it goes as follows. So white plays to d5, black plays now to e6, white's knight to c3, black takes, white recaptures, black moves pawn to d6, white goes to e4, black prepares to fianchetto the bishop, white now plays f4 with the pawn, black fianchettos, and white comes in with a check. This is a very tight situation for black, and it's not a very positive one. And there's you could plug this into your PGN viewer or editor, and you can expose some very powerful attacks from white here. So I'm just going to throw out an example. Knight blocks check, white develops knight, and you'll notice now here that white is building up a lot of tangible attacks on the e5 square, which is a nice outpost square to have for white. So from here, black needs to castle to get out of the pin, and white can simply just start attacking now, or if white wants, it can position its queen and then start attacking next move. And there's some very tangible threats that could take place, putting black in a very uncomfortable position. So the Taimanov variation has been used by people like Kasparov in response to the modern Benoni defense. So it's something to watch out for. Now, even though the Taimanov variation is very strong, play by white that can really turn the tables on the modern Benoni defense, there is a line from black that allows it to avoid the Taimanov variation altogether while still getting into the modern Benoni defense, and it goes as follows. So the opening takes place queen's pawn to d4, black plays knight to f6, white pawn to c4, and instead of playing c5 here, black is going to play e6 instead. So this is the new move that's going to avoid the Taimanov variation. So the line continues: white knight to c3, black now to c5, getting into the Benoni, and white's knight to f3. And from here you can see that black can still get into the Benoni defense system. However, white's bishop check is now taken away and blocked by its own pieces. So it's a great way for black to get into the modern Benoni and avoid the Taimanov variation altogether. Now there are a couple of other variations to the Benoni defense system, and the first one is the old Benoni. And this is just simply black playing, instead of knight to f6, black plays c5 right away. And this can frequently get into the modern Benoni or the Czech Benoni. Now the Czech Benoni is basically goes as follows. So knight to f6, white pawn to c4, and black plays c5, white plays d5. And instead of playing, say for example, e6 or d6, black will actually just play right up now to e5 and not worry about fianchettoing that bishop. So those are the two other variations that can happen with the Benoni defense. So, you know, all in all, it's a good system. It's a very solid system for black, and I think the fact that many of the top grandmasters using it really lends weight to the possibilities that can be reached with black playing it. So take care. Hope you enjoy the video.